and welcome back to the channel. My name is Sarah, otherwise known as Sarah Says Hi here on YouTube. And this is my 2-week update of following Dr. Mindy Pelz, the Menopause Reset Ketobiotic Diet. To find out how I did the last 2 weeks, stay tuned. Okay guys, so I am still figuring this thing out, even though I have the PDF ebook, which by the way, I will post it below if you're interested in getting a copy for yourself. Then you could read how this crazy diet works. She also has a chapter in there going over the 7 various forms of fasting that you can implement with this. She is a huge proponent of fasting for women, especially for anti-aging, for cancer, for fat loss, any kind of autoimmune disorder. She's done enough research where fasting definitely holds more benefits for women. So as you have seen in my videos, if you have watched the progesterone building week, and I'm sure by the time this video comes out, you will have seen a week of ketobiotic eating with alternate day fasting as well. So at the start of this, I was coming off of my 3 months of keto and alternate day fasting, and I weighed 177 pounds at the end of that. Well, I automatically started this menopause reset diet doing the week before your period, which is taking yourself out of ketosis for 7 days and eating up to 200 grams of carbs. After those 7 days, I did my weigh-in and I weighed 182.4 pounds. So that was a gain of 5 pounds. Obviously, that's not all fat. I knew a lot of that was going to be water weight. The next week was the first week of implementing the ketobiotic diet, which is a protocol of 50 grams of net carbs, 50 grams of proteins, and 60% fat. You're not counting calories per se, but you are watching out for those macros for the net carbs and the protein. Specifically the protein, the carbs are important too, but really you have to dial down that protein. Dr. Mindy has posted in her Resetters group links to the studies showing that if you are over consuming protein while following a ketogenic diet, that might be why your weight loss is stalling or very slow. Before I started this, I would say I was eating about 150 grams of protein a day. I never looked to see like how many grams of protein per body weight and all that, if I was eating the right amount. I kind of just ate protein that would fit into my calories, and protein was the source of food I would go to if I was still hungry. So if I felt snacky still, I would have cheese, I would have pork rinds. Oh my God, I haven't had pork rinds forever. It feels like I haven't had cheese forever either. The reason why I say that Dr. Mindy is right about that protein is because I did my best for 1 week to try to stick to that lower protein. I would say that I was averaging between 60 to 75 grams of protein, which I think that's pretty darn good. It's a pretty good darn start for me, especially if I'm used to having twice as much of that. She's suggesting that you get your protein from plant-based. And it just seems that way because if you're eating animal protein, that 50 grams of protein, it comes like that. Heck, maybe even, 1.5 meals, you could be done with your protein intake for the day. I've had to modify things. I've had to reduce the amount of the bone broth protein powder that I put in my coffee because that has 10 grams of protein. And, that's quite a bit of protein for just my coffee. I can't even tell you how many times I had cheese this last week because it almost seems like it's non-existent in my diet. And that really saddens me because I am a cheese connoisseur. I love cheese. I'm a cheese snob. I love having gourmet cheeses all the time in my fridge. In fact, the cheese that is sitting in my fridge right now, I'm already thinking, do I have to freeze this cheese? Am I ever going to get to this? That really saddens me because I miss cheese. I really do. I did see proof that I was having too much protein because when I stuck to those macros or tried to stick to the macros of 50 grams of protein for the week, After 1 week of doing that, which was yesterday, today's Saturday. So yesterday I did my official weigh-in. I checked my ketones. I tried to check my blood glucose, but I got an error on the strip, and then I pricked myself again and I couldn't get enough blood out. And I was like, ugh, forget this. So I don't know what my blood glucose was yesterday, but my ketones were 1.8 millimoles. That is the highest that I have seen in a long time. I think when I first started ketone alternate day fasting, I want to say that maybe it was the first or second week I saw ketones that registered over 1.0. But ever since that, I have not seen that. My ketones have fluctuated between zero point 0.5 and capping out at 0.7. So I would say I never saw past 0.7 for the last, 2.5 months or so. Obviously, it's the protein. I do suggest that if you notice you're not having good luck getting high ketone numbers, or you're not even getting into ketosis, it may not necessarily be not even so much how many carbs you're eating, but the protein, the overconsumption of protein. Test it out and reduce your protein. Like me, if I was having 150 grams, try to just stick to 100 grams of protein and see what that does for you. Maybe it'll start getting the ball rolling again for weight loss. And definitely test your ketones and blood sugar to see if your blood sugar is down between 70 to 80 milligrams, and to see if your ketones are testing higher. Yesterday was also my weigh-in, so that would have been the first week back to Ketobiotic and alternate day fasting. I did have 4 full days of alternate day fasting. I weighed in yesterday at 177.4. Let me remind you that 2 weeks ago, before I started the hormone diet, I was 177, and then I gained the 5 pounds during the progesterone building week, and now I am almost back to where I was 2 weeks ago. I was disappointed. I was hoping to see that I lost some weight originally from that 177, but I know that I'm going to see some weight loss in the next 2 weeks. The other bummer is that Tuesday will be day 12 of my cycle. At day 12 to day 14 is when you're not counting macros and calories again, and you're eating those estrogen building foods. In the ebook, she says days 12 to 14, no macro counting again, and only intermittent fasting with those same rules of 13 to 15 hours. But when I listen to her videos, she's saying no extended fasting during that progesterone building week only. And then she says back to, days 1 to 20, you can go back to any form of fasting you want. So that's where I'm a little confused. It's there in her guide. So I'm kind of thinking I should just follow what she's saying. So I could honestly say that I gave it a good go because I followed the instructions. So I'm still kind of tossed up on that, but I think that at the end of the day, I will follow the instructions in the ebook and not necessarily what she is saying in her YouTube videos. So that's coming up, where it's going to be days 12 to 14. So you're looking at 3 days there of not macro counting and carb counting. Now, another thing that I also noticed that I did a mistake on is that for the last week I've been doing the Ketobiotic, and she never said this in the Menopause Reset book, but it's in the handout for the Ketobiotic Reset program, which is like a 1 month hormone reset too. It still kind of goes around your cycle. It doesn't really seem any different to me than the Menopause Reset. Honestly, I don't understand the difference between the two, but sometimes the language is different. So what I did notice on the handout for the Ketobiotic Reset was that she said no fruit. You are not supposed to be having any fruit during the ketobiotic period. So for 20 days, well, except for the estrogen building days, the estrogen surge, that's when you could have dried apricots and apricots. So the rest of the days that you're eating ketobiotic, she had it like bold printed, no fruit, veggies only. So your carbohydrates are only supposed to be coming from vegetables. So that's where I kind of blew it, because I did have raspberries this week. And yesterday I just bought a basket of strawberries because I didn't have any more raspberries anymore. And honestly, the fruit helps me hit that 50 grams of net carbs. If I don't have fruit, I just cannot eat enough vegetables. I'm too full. After I eat my salad, I'm too full. And I tried snacking on sugar snap peas. I tried snacking on carrots, and it just they get me full, and then I'm hungry an hour later. So it's not helping. So I kind of need that fruit. So I am bending the rules a little bit there because I'm having berries. Make sure that you like this video if you liked it. Subscribe down below if you're not yet subscribed. And don't forget to hit that little bell icon when you do, and that'll notify you every time that I've uploaded a new video. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.